what units do I always take in my lists? Actually, I've been thinking about this quite a lot, and there is no real definitive unit that I auto include in my lists, because it really does depend on what lists I'm making. First of all, which detachments I'm in. I generally pick a detachment and make my list around that detachment, making it quite themed, or at least as themed as I can. I generally don't play ultra competitive lists. Sometimes I will throw in a competitive list, and let's start there. If I'm throwing in competitive list, then there are some units which are auto take for me, and that is the Hexmark Destroyer, one at least, sometimes two, and I'll combine that with Death Marks. I think those units are just fantastic for objective scoring, to be able to deep strike in behind enemy lines, etc. And I think they're my auto include units when I'm building competitive. You can't see me, but I'm doing quotation marks in the air. Yeah, my competitive sort of lists always have those units, but outside of that, I do tend to build for themed lists. So if I'm taking the Canoptic Court, then I'll always have Doomstalkers in there, and that's quite an interesting one actually, because one of the first things that I do when I'm building a list is I pick my heavy support. So if it's Canoptic Court, it's always 2 or 3 Doomstalkers, depending on obviously the points cost. If it's anything out of Canoptic Court, then I will choose whether I'm going to be using Locust Heavy Destroyers or Doomsday Arcs. Occasionally I will do a mixture of the two, but usually I'll stick to those units, generally 2 units of each, sometimes 3 units of each, but those are the units which I generally pick first.